I've said, I don't want you confronting a narcissist because A, they're not going to change when you do, and B, you think you're going to vent and feel better. No, you're not. You're just going to go through this most frustrating circular exercise you've ever been through in your life, and you're not going to feel better. So I'm just trying to save you that frustrating experience. So what have I said? I've said, own your own feelings. Don't give them your power. I've said, don't take the bait. And I've said you have to have boundaries. Now, I want to talk about a different kind of boundary, and that's setting up a fence line. There's a boundary where you say, you don't get to tell me how I feel about myself. And you don't ever want to use those words. You don't ever want to tell a narcissist, you make me feel bad about myself, because that's not true. They may do things that you react to. They may make it easier for you to respond, but you got to own your own feelings. That's one kind of boundary where you keep your power. Another kind of boundary is recognizing that they only respond to action, not words. Let's talk about an example. Let's say you're in the workplace, you're dealing with a narcissist, and they are abusing or harassing you. Maybe it's sexual. Maybe they're taking credit for work that you did. Maybe they're just bullying you and making fun of you in front of other people or whatever, making you the butt of jokes, whatever. You don't ever want to bluff with a narcissist. If you tell them, I need you to stop doing this, and if you don't stop doing it, I'm going to HR, I'm filing a formal report, and I'm going to have an investigation initiated, and we'll see what happens. Don't say that if you're not ready to do it. Because if someone is making provocative comments to you, if they're making rude insinuations with sexual connotations that make you uncomfortable, and you say, I don't want you to do that anymore. You need to stop talking to me that way. And if you don't, I'm going to report it. The next time they open their mouth and say something like that, you need to stand up and walk into the HR office or your supervisor's office, and you need to file the report. Don't tell them you're going to do something that you're not going to do. Because the only thing they understand is action. Then understand the gaslighting starts, they're going to go into, well, it's not me, it's her. She, blah, 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 blah. Understand that. But when you say you're going to do it, you absolutely have to take action. If you're married to a narcissist, if you're engaged to a narcissist, if you're dating a narcissist and they're being exploitive, and you say enough is enough, if you do that to me again, if you show up an hour late again, if you embarrass me in a restaurant again, if you do this again, then you have to understand not everybody you lose is a loss, and you need to be willing to get up and walk away. But don't say you are if you're not going to. Do not bluff with a narcissist, because all it does is throw gas on the fire. You don't want to do that. So you need to set up boundaries in terms of keeping your own power and owning your own emotions. And then you need to set up barriers where you say there are certain behaviors that I will not tolerate. And if you do them, I'm either going to report you, or I'm going to end this relationship, or whatever it is you feel that you need to do, but do it. Don't say it until you're ready to do it, because that's what they understand. If you say it, do it. Now, let me tell you what to expect when you do. Anytime an abuser loses control, and narcissists are abusers, anytime they feel control slipping away, you're going to get what you call a frustration effect. And that means it's going to ramp up. That's why the vast majority of serious injuries and murders happen after an individual leaves an abusive relationship. Not while they're in the relationship, but in the short period of time after they leave their abuser. Now, why is that? Well, because the number one tool of the abuser is isolation, and they love control. And when they lose that control, they panic and they ratchet up all of their control efforts to try to regain that. That's the frustration effect. They get desperate, and desperate people do desperate things. So when you do this with a narcissist, expect they're going to ramp it up. And if you know that in advance, you know what's going to happen, just expect it. It's usually followed by what we call the extinction effect. They ramp it up. That's the frustration effect. But then when it doesn't work, it extinguishes. Because these people do not have confidence. They do not have staying power. And when they see that their best efforts to regain control don't work, then you will see that it extinguishes and the behavior goes away. You just have to say what you're going to do it, expect them to react, but stand your ground. Now, leading up to this, a narcissist is going to make you promises. Oh, you're right. I'll never do it again. I'll never do it again. I'll do better. I'll change what I'm doing. If their lips are moving, they're lying. Seeing is believing. It doesn't matter what they say. It only matters what they do. So you got to be like you were born in the center of Missouri. Show me. Is to act like you're from the show me state. You dealing with them, makes no difference what they say. It matters what they do. You got to turn a deaf ear and just say, show me. If they say, I'm not going to embarrass you in a crowd again, I'm not going to show up late again because I think time is suspended for me because I'm so special and I can travel 15 miles in 1.2 minutes when it takes everybody else 30 minutes, and whatever. They're not going to be rude to your mother when they get over there. They're not going to just dominate the conversation and not let anybody else speak. All the things that you have said, I'm not going to put up with anymore. It doesn't matter what they say. It's what they do. That's what you have to focus on, what they do. It's also very important that you have someone that you can talk to. Surround yourself with people that know you, people that love you, people that can validate you. Because the onslaught you get when you're living with, dealing with, working with, married to, trapped by a narcissist can be overwhelming. These people are relentless. They just don't give it up. And you withstanding that onslaught alone can be very difficult. Give your feelings a voice. You have to go check in with somebody that you know has your best interest at heart. And if you don't have a therapist, if you don't have a pastor or a priest, talk to your best friend, talk to your mother, go to a support group, have somebody so you're not alone. Have somebody to help you reset the dial. So when you get beaten down by these narcissists, whether it's a classical narcissist or a malignant narcissist that's just mean, or a covert narcissist that's just so whiny and passive aggressive, but they dominate everything, or a communal narcissist that's just constantly just telling you how wonderful they are and they just take all of the air out of the room and you're just suffocating to have a normal conversation with an adult. Have somebody that cares about you, somebody you can talk to. And the best way to get what you need is to give away what you need. Be there for somebody else. It will fill you up, and I promise you, it comes back in multiples.